Welcome to the fifth session of the module 5, in which we shall discuss about. In the previous session we have discussed about the photosynthesis and different stages and types of the stages in which the photosynthesis takes place, and we have also discussed what is a carbon fixation and what is a dark reaction and what is a light reaction and what happens in these three specific reactions also we have discussed. So soon after that, let us talk about the energy plantations, which is which plays a major role in deciding the biomass, the richness of the biomass which is available. Before that, let us talk about the oxygen fixation by the oxygen production by this photosynthetic process. Photosynthetic oxygen productions in the photosynthesis, obviously we always encourage this photosynthesis. It is only because for two reasons. One is it takes the carbon dioxide which living animals or the human beings doesn't want it. That is the first thing. And the second thing is it produces the oxygen which is much essential needed for any living beings. That is, it may be an animal or it may be the human beings. Oxygen gas is a product or an end product of the photosynthesis. To produce more oxygen, photosynthesis rate needs to be higher. The higher the rate of photosynthesis, the higher the production of oxygen. We cannot. It is not a mission. We cannot increase it like that. It is not something like a bike. We accelerate it and the oxygen production increases. So the one which is happening naturally, okay, needs to be of a higher rates. Then how we can accelerate that? Okay. Now if you take this greater light intensity and higher temperature, so by these two things we can not like we can they will produce more oxygen production, and that translates to rapid rate of photosynthesis. Okay, so the greater light intensity, higher light intensity is required, and higher temperatures, that is a maximum of up to 60 degrees, not exceeding that. Okay, that is the reason why even in the deserts the plantations grow and prepare their food. And if you can observe, the one of the important thing is the plantations which grows in the deserts will always have a very thick leaves, or the stem itself will have a more thicker. It is only because they stores the water. They stores the water which is necessary for them to prepare the food. Is it clear? So the chloroplast is involved in both the stages of photosynthesis. In both the stages of whether it may be light reaction or it may be in dark reaction, chloroplast is required, or it has been involved in both the stages of photosynthesis. During the light reactions takes place in the thylakoid, whereas the water is oxidized and oxygen is being released. Thylakoid or the light reaction takes place in thylakoid. That is one of the parts of this plantations. And then the electrons that freed from the water are transferred to ATP and NADPH. So whatever the splitting up of, that is what we call it as photolysis process. By the use of that is the light, what we do it is we will split the water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen. Oxygen and hydrogen, this is what we call it as a photolysis. When it is being splitted, hydrogen will become a complex unknown compound, whereas the oxygen will be released to the atmosphere. And then because of the splitting up of, there exist a free electrons that will be transferred to the chemicals ATP and NADPH, which we have already discussed in the previous session. Now this oxygen is evolved during the photosynthetic electron transport when the water is being split by the oxygen, evolving a complex to provide protons and electrons to the chloroplastic electron chain, thereby generating ATP and NADPH. Okay, the energy source and reducing power for plant metabolism rate. This majority of this chemical energy is used to drive the photosynthetic carbon metabolism, which consists of ribulose 1 and 5 by uh, phosphate carbon oxidation, and this is nothing but a photosynthetic carbon reduction cycle and oxygenation. Photosynthetic carbon oxidation cycle with a combination electrons requirement, that is JE. 4 electrons are required for every oxygen evolved, so that the gross oxygen production is related to the linear electron transport according to the J by 4. It's only because in order to split this, for this photolysis process, for splitting up of the energy is required. Energy is from the sunlight. Sunlight are nothing but solar radiation. This solar radiation from which it is coming, at least 4 electrons are required to release this oxygen. That is what he just said. Okay. Now, when linear electron transport is used only to drive the carbon dioxide fixation, the consumption of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide by photosynthetic carbon oxidation and mitochondrial respiration in such that the net oxygen produced, that is NOP, the net oxygen production is equal to the net carbon dioxide assimilation. Carbon dioxide assimilation is nothing but carbon dioxide fixation. It is equal to that. Whatever the amount of carbon dioxide you are fixing, the so much of amount of oxygen that is being liberated. I'm not I have gone much deeper into that because not much there in your syllabus. Okay. Now an interesting thing is energy plantations. Basically, energy plantation is maybe a few people term it as the practice of producing the trees. It is not actually producing just trees. It is producing a selected species of trees and shrubs which are harvestable in a comparable short period of time and are specifically meant for fuels. Energy plantation, we plant the energy, that is okay. Any plant, it may be, it will produce the oxygen by absorbing the carbon dioxide. That is fine thing. But here, a particular point with respect to the biomass energy harvesting, we consider this as growing a particular species, a particular trees and shrubs. Shrubs are something which grows with less stem. It will grows like a shrubs, and the trees which grows taller. A particular shrubs and trees have been, we are just growing for the purpose or for the intention of harnessing the biomass, and these plantations should take a less period of time. Say for example, if you take Jatropha seeds are very much useful in producing the liquid fuel by the biomasses. So we will grow more and more these Jatropha seeds. Just an example, I will go in detail what are the different plants that growing it actually. These plantations helps to provide, these plantations will helps to provide wood either for domestic or for the industrial purposes. Is it clear? This energy plantations may be an industrial purpose applications, or it may be for the purpose of domestic applications, but still we will grow it. Is it clear? The energy plantations provide almost inexhaustible renewable sources of energy which are local and independent of unreliable and finite sources of fuel. The total time constant for each cycle may start with minimum of 3 years to the 8 years only. No, even there are more of researches also going on. Now, my dear friends, if you, one example, if you take a tender coconut, a normal tender coconut, to give out the tender coconuts, the coconut, if you want to give the coconuts, earlier it used to take 12 years or 14 years. Now, by advanced method of growing, maybe because they will put the char, they will put the salt to the roots of the tender coconut, which will reduces its growth into or it will give the fruitfulness, that is tender coconuts, with a short period of 8 to 10 years. So that is what we call it as the different cultures in growing up the energy plantations. What are, if you talk about the different features of energy plantations, the attractive features for the any sort of energy plantations will be a good amount of heat content of the wood low in sulfur and non-polluting. We can select it, all the woods doesn't pollute in the same rate. If you take a teak, if you take some neem tree, or if you take certain things, one is the water content in that also depends, and the other thing is it will have its own the sulfur contents, based on which it pollution rate also varies. And ash content which burnt wood is valuable fertilizers. Ash is also used as a valuable fertilizers. And one more point is, even this ash, they are using it in the preparation of composite materials. The composite materials which are used in the aircraft to the rockets, till even in our automobile systems, they are using a composite materials, and even in this composite materials they are using ash or a fly ash, which is an end product of any combustion. Okay, the rising plantations in erosion prone lands helps to reduce the soil erosion and helps in rural development of the generation. That is also one of the major advantages of this. Basically, this terrestrial and non-terrestrial, terrestrial and aquatic plants, we always categorize these plants into two ways. One is a terrestrial and the other one is a aquatic. Terrestrial plants are the biomass or the trees which are growing on the earth's surface, whereas aquatic, as the name itself indicates, they grow in the water. Are they useful for the biomass harnessing? Definitely it is. If you take a water hyacinth, even if I'm not wrong, near to the Haveri there is one place called Badgi place, where you can see that the water hyacinth is being grown naturally. This water hyacinth is an extraordinary biomass which can be used for the production of liquid fuels. It may be a methanol or it may be an ethanol that can be generated using this water hyacinth, which is naturally grown in the shady lake or a pond. It is being grown. You might have seen it even in the near to this Badgi place. Okay, it is grown naturally. This is very rich in producing the methanol and the ethanol, which are termed to be a liquid biofuels. Okay, in recent years, so that is what I just meant to say. It is not only the terrestrial plantations, even in the aquatic plantations also are useful in producing the biofuels. In recent years, to meet the demand of energy, the plantations of energy plants has been re-emphasized. It is well known fact that trees have been intensively cut in Gangetic plains and coastal belts, leaving the area totally denuded. So this is what has happened with this. See, you take any plant, you take any tree, we will always have a positiveness only from that. Not like human beings. All humans are not positive. The the most wildest animal on the earth is human being, because he has got a thinking power. Is that clear? So when compared to the human beings, or you compare to the anything, the plants or any trees will always have a positive energy. It prevents the soil erosion. It absorbs the carbon dioxide. It gives a very uh, cold air, or it gives a very good wind current, and it gives out a maximum amount of oxygen which is necessary for us, and it gives the fruits, it gives the shades, it gives a biomass also for us, it gives everything, it gives a chemical energy for us to grow, eat and grow. But still we will cut the plants. That is very embarrassing things. Is that clear? Now this is one of the major drawback. The deforestation is the biggest concern. Okay, the same practice, no, at least it's only because, my dear friends, being an educated, we should encourage the energy plantations. Okay, the same practice has also been done in foothills of Himalayas. Okay, even in the Himalayas, in India, the same practice is being maintained. According to the report, if a fuel or a firewood plants were not raised rapidly by 2000 AD, more than 250 million people would not be able to manage fuels for cooking purposes, and therefore they would be forced to burn animal dung, which however depends on the availability of animals and agricultural crop producers. No, actually, I don't agree completely with this. Nowadays, who prepares the food with the burning of this biomass? No, nobody. Hard wood is not burned. Maybe even till today, including in few places, even including in Haveri, I can see people using this wood burning for production of hot water for the bathing purposes. And there are some remote places where they use this for cooking purposes also, but not completely. Even nowadays, even in the corners of the villages, they'll go for the gas. That is, they are depending on the fossil fuels because they doesn't pollute much compared to the wood burning. Is it clear? So this is what whenever there is a scarcity in the rainy seasons, if there is any scarcity, they will take the animal cow dung. For example, cow dung, you might have seen it. They will take the cow dung, they will put it onto the walls, they will allow it to dry, and then once it has been dried, it has been used as a source. So animals and plantations are always helpful to the human beings, but not the vice versa. Yes, it's clear. India is the biggest fuel wood producing country in the world because the area is more and we always support this wood. Trust me, the forest people they worship the trees rather than worshipping uh, the other things. They always worship the trees, which is a living one. It is some meaningful actually. So that is the reason why maybe India is one of the biggest fuel wood producing country in the world. But per capita fuel wood production is very low. That is around 290 meter square per head. 290 meter square per head is very less actually, isn't it? So Mitchell in 1979, the person who estimated that the need of firewood for cooking purposes in India is 0.8 kg per capita per day. This is what the statistics. It is just a statistics. They have done some research and survey. They have achieved this. But this value does not hold good for cold areas where firewood is also required for keeping houses warm. In the cold countries, even if you go for Jammu and Kashmir, inside the home there will be one place to make the firewoods to burn and extract the heat in the cold places. That is one of the things. If you talk about the significance of energy plantations, this is the point to be noted. This is the most of the time he will ask a question on these energy plantations because one should have an awareness in preparing this. Basically, this significance of energy plantations. Energy plantations needs only the use as a not only as a fuel. The woody plants have been used since ancient times to generate fire for domestic and industrial purposes. In recent years, to meet uh, the ever-growing plants demand or the wood demand, biomass demand of energy plantations is also increased. We are all aware, even if you go for any thermal power plants, maybe coal is being used. Coal is being used as a major energy for burning purposes. But still, what happens for the initial burning, for initial startups, they will use the wood. Though the coal is being used as a fuel in a thermal power plant, for initial startup, the wood is being used as a working fluid. We are all aware that areas are cut in many of the forest belts of India, like uh, Gangetic plants, like Sibyllic regions and the foothills of Himalayas. In terms of, for example, if you take, they cannot be motivated to use the solar cookers because of being solely traditional and religious. Even global, the gobar gas power plants also depends directly or indirectly once again on this the energy plantations also. For obtaining good amount of the biomass, afforestation and forest management, government has started many plans like forestry. Social forestry, uh, social forestry. It is one the forestry which is under the control of forest department. They will take care of the plantations. Apart from the natural forest, where the plantations are automatically grows by the climatical changes, and no one will take care of it. Forest itself will take care of it. In the social forestry or the silviculture, where they grow artificially and they take care of the plantations. That is what we call it as the agro horticulture practices also. Is it clear? In waste and barren lands, the wastelands will also be there. There they plant, they will go for afforestation, and they will grow it actually, and they will take care of that. These programs include growing of drought resistant and salt resistant, pollutant resistant, and high density energy plants in waste and barren lands. Okay, the technique used in high density energy plantations is the practice of planting trees at close spacing. Here the trees grows rapidly due to the struggle for the survival. It is something like we just grow one plant to the other plant. The distance between that we will always have a lower distances, so that what happens, they will grow faster rate with the logic behind of this is nothing but uh, survival of fittest will be there. Basically, this social forestry will have the plantations which has been highlighted by the government of India to meet the demand of fuel and fodder in the rural areas. And even this plantation also encourages the higher rain. It also results in a higher rains. So this social forestry will definitely decrease the ever increasing pressure on the forest through the social forestry departments. This is what actually a few significance of this energy plantations. When it comes to the advantages, when it comes to the advantages, it emit a little or no sulfur and less nitrogen dioxide than the fossil fuels. Obviously, my dear friends, advantages, we can write a number of advantages. No need to maintain it. We don't need to purchase anything greatly for this. We just need to supply a natural water, and that's it. Automatically sunlight, it is free of cost. Carbon dioxide, it is plenty of carbon dioxide is available in the nature nowadays. Okay, that is, now you just feel the comfortness when you sit in the forest, or the same when you sit in the open land, that you will feel realizing. And then this also helps in rehabilitation of degraded lands. There may be a wasteland where the plantations are not there. There we will go and grow the plants. We will plant the trees over there. This is nothing but a social forestry. So whenever you go for a forest department, there will be always a civil social forest, and the other department will also be there. There are two departments actually, rural forestry or maybe a social forestry, I don't know. But social forestry will be one of the wing of the forest department. See, it provides a rural employment, alive and active growing forest and other plant biomass absorbs the greenhouse gases in quantities broadly equivalent to amount emitted when plant material decay or burnt. They are thus called as carbon neutrals. They always balance this. If you can imagine, if there are no plantations on the earth, no animals and humans can survive on this earth. So much of dependency. One has to get aware of it. Okay, so they are also called as carbon neutral fuel sources. Then the growing energy crops creates a carbon sink, which includes storing carbon underground through the tree root systems. Lower energy cost per capita unit area, as lower inputs are required to compare with the agricultural crops also. Agricultural crops, what happens, it's for a short period of time. They will grow it for 4 months or 6 months. You will get the grains and they will cut it off. That is also a different one. But when it comes to the energy plantations, it is for the longer term, and the purpose of the energy plantations will be different. Not like agricultural lands. The species should be local. This helps the better climate and soil adaptation. Say for example, you get some trees from the Iceland and we will allow it to grow over here. Uh, for example, I would like to take you. You take a green apple. You take a green apple which grows in very cold places like Jammu and Kashmir. If you want this green apple to be grown in the belts of southern part of Karnataka or in the north part of Karnataka or in any part of Karnataka, it doesn't support. It is because it has to get adapted. Adaptability is a major thing. If you grow the Nilgiri trees, definitely it will grow. If you grow a neem tree will also grow very comfortably. So this adaptability is also required. When you want to have for energy plantations, it is very important that the local trees should be grown. This species should rapid growth and high occupancy ability will also be there. Is that clear? So the species should also produce additional products like fruits, seeds, or it may be a fodder, or it may be a green manure apart from the fuel wood. It should also have a hardwood. Is it clear? And it should have no wood that we use it for the construction of the houses is different than the wood we burn it. Neem tree wood, it is not suitable for constructing of the doors of any house. Though it is hard, it cannot be used. The teak wood is used because every wood or every plant has got its own characteristics. Every species has got its own characteristics. But when it takes once again teak, it doesn't give any fruits, it doesn't give any seeds for us. Is it clear? Fruit is given by the apple trees, but the apple tree wood is not suitable for certain things. So this is what we call it as a species. Is it clear? So then the requirement we should grow certain plants which always takes less wood, less fertilizers and waters. Is it clear? Nowadays, you might have heard about the Nilgiri trees. Nilgiri trees, they have been banned in certain areas. It is only because the beauty of the Nilgiri tree is the roots goes much deeper into the earth. They will go much deeper into the earth and they will drain, they will make the underground water empty. They use maximum amount of the underground water and they will make it drain. So that is the reason why they are not going for the Nilgiri trees in few belts. Okay, if you go for Ooty and Kodaikanal where the complete belt is covered with Nilgiri trees, so it is called as a Nilgiri hills also. However, these energy plantations are brought to remove the entire nutrient from the soil. They will take the soil. That is why when you are going for a agriculture purpose also, for throughout the year they will not grow the same crops. They will change the crop or they will give the gap for the growth of the crops. It is only because once the nutrients is been absorbed by the plants. That is the reason why, my dear friends, though you have a sapota, you have apple, you have a grapes, you have mangoes, n number of fruits are there. Every fruit is a sweet. Every fruit, though it is a sweet only, a different types. The sapota, the sweet is different. If you take a mango, its a sweet is different. How it has been differed? One of the factor, I'm talking only one of the factor that influence on this is the nutrient from the soil. And once it absorbs the nutrients, it will be dry. It cannot grow further. So what happens? We will leave a gap and then we will grow it once again. We should allow the soil to gain the nutrients once again. However, by the use of thermochemical process of biomass conversion, it is feasible to recover all the nutrients. See, this is the process by which we can recover all the nutrients as ash, which can return to the plantation sites. That is the reason why, my dear friends, you might have observed, especially in sugarcane plantations. If you see any plantation in the sugarcane lands, they will always burn. After the crop, after the removing the sugar canes, they will burn the complete land. So that what happens, the nutrients will regain in the sand or the soil. Dependable and renewable energy sources of energy along with afforestation of marginal lands and employment generation. That is there. Aesthetic value, obviously it looks very good. Earlier there used to be multi-stored buildings for the accommodations. Now they will go for resorts. What is this resorts? Resorts are something which have been built in the in under the shades of trees, in the middle of the forest, which makes it looks more aesthetic. See how worst we human beings are. We spoil the cities, we spoil the places, and then we will go to the forest and we will spoil the forest also, we will come back. But still the environment is bearing with us. Let's see, windbreak and shelter belts and the fodder, NTFP or etc. are the other advantages of this energy plantations. Handling and disposal of byproducts is safe. You can dispose the ash in any part of the earth. They are not hazardous. Okay, that is what even I was just telling. Even the ash or the waste particles of this biomass is also useful for the human beings. Is it clear? So this that is one of the advantage of this. Energy plantations are both ecologically as well as sociologically much sounder investments. This is what the major one of the advantage of this energy plantations. In the next class we shall discuss about the biogas productions.